I've made a horrible mistake. I thought I could make something for an old woman and she wouldn't break it. You do something nice and they go ahead and break it. They ruin it. How could this happen? I was being a nice guy. You hear that? That's the sound of failure. Also, for legal purposes, I would like to classify and clear up that this is not a device. It's a mailbox detector! Okay, but no, real talk. So, the story is, I made something for my grandma, which I actually mentioned in my video way back when about what I've been up to and why I had disappeared for a while. And so I made this mailbox detector for her, and young, naive me thought, this is perfect, this is fine, nothing could go wrong with this. And then the day she got it, she broke it. And that's not her fault. Let's be honest here. It's my shoddy craftsmanship. So I had her send it back, and hopefully we're gonna fix it. And this is the part that's broken. So just to go over what this thing is, it's a mailbox detector. So there's two parts. There's a part that sits inside, and there's a part that sits in the mailbox. So this would be the part that sits inside, and it has a little port, a micro USB port that comes out here, and you plug it into the wall, and it has a big red button, and it looks very suspicious. But I promise all it does is a button that turns it on and off. So when the other device in the mailbox gets mail, it sends a signal with radio to this device inside, and this light will start flashing. So this just tells them that a package arrived or that mail came. So when they see that it's come, you press the button, and then this signal resets on this side, and then you're good to receive it again. And this is the other side of it that goes in the mailbox. So there's a big battery pack, and there's the actual detector part. So this is just a really big battery pack to make sure it lasts a while. And if I did my math correctly, which I probably didn't, but even assuming for that, and assuming for efficiency and sitting in the heat and whatnot, it should last for about 3 weeks before having to charge, which I really wanted to have because I didn't want to have to go out there and bring it back inside all the time. So now this part, normally they would kind of sit like this together. So this part is fine. This part, it worked great. So we can see here, there's a little photoresistor there. So the way I had this system is that when the door to the mailbox opens, some light is going to come inside. So this can detect the change from the current light value it's at when it's dark inside the mailbox to when it opens up and there's a big light value change. So when it gets a value, it uses this antenna and it sends a signal through the mailbox, through the yard, through the garage, whatever, into the house. So the only reason this works at their house is that they have a plastic mailbox, so the radio signal can actually get out. If it was a metal mailbox, this would probably not have worked and I would have needed to use something else. So the actual port snapped off, which makes sense. Oh, here it is. So this is the little USB port. Yeah. So when she was plugging it in, it must not have been soldered to the board very well or held down, and so it snapped off when trying to plug it in. So that is something I can fix though, and I think it'll be a pretty easy fix, I'm hoping. Hey, welcome to my basement, where the audio is bad and so is the lighting. Sure. Yeah, not the best recording conditions, but we're working with what we got here. So our fix, we're using the best tool ever invented, the hot glue gun. I think this is gonna solve most of our problems, unironically. I'm thinking we're just gonna solder that little piece back in and then, hot glue protect it so it is old woman proof. Hey, narrator Ben here. So the audio in the basement was pretty bad, so I just decided to narrate over it. So let me just walk you through the steps of what was going on here. First, I just needed to crack open this thing. Luckily, I had just designed it to use some threaded inserts that you can use with 3D printing parts, so that's pretty nice. Just have to unscrew the top, and the whole piece can come out on the inside. And you'll be able to see here that it's actually connected to the top, as the button and LED have leads that come off of it onto the board. So you can probably see this whole area on the back side, and this is where the piece broke off of the micro USB port. And we're actually just going to reuse the same one because the port itself is fine. As I tested it earlier, it simply just snapped off. So all we have to do is resolder it really poorly, as you'll probably see here. And we just need to basically hot glue it on. And I'm going to use enough hot glue here, and it makes it look like a 4th grader sneezed on over this thing, but we really want to make sure this thing does not go anywhere. And I actually got some hot glue on the top side of the port too, so that the actual little metal bit where the port goes in, or where the cable goes in, also can't snap off. And so once we get all hot glue on there, we're just going to throw this thing back together, slide it back in there, and retighten the screws on top. And after this, I just really made sure we had enough hot glue on there, as I don't want this thing going anywhere and I don't want it to break again. But hey, if it breaks another time for something else, I guess we'll have another video. Alright, so here we are back in the future. I guess technically it's my present. Is it your future? We're here right now. So I tested it and everything looks like it's working again, which is great. And here's our 2 pieces again, right here. So again, this is the part that we fixed, and we can see all nice and plugged up now. And of course, in the real world, wouldn't be using the same battery pack for both of these, but just so that we can test it, let's turn this one on. We can see we have our little sensor here, and if this works correctly, when I cover this and let it go, there we go. We get a light, so that means our radio is working still. But anyways, thank you for joining me on this journey, and I know this is kind of different than what I normally do, but I do like to make these projects and I would like to share them since I'm usually working on something weird, and this one wasn't too weird, but in the future I definitely got more weird stuff. So let me know down below if you'd like to see more stuff like this, because I would definitely like to keep trying making videos like this. But anyways, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you can leave a like, I'd greatly appreciate it. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.